Looking at the year-to-date singles charts for 2024, the term boys club comes to mind, with all the Zacks and Bensons and Teddys and Shabuzzies and Posties and Morgans. But the past summer was a very different story at Universal Music Publishing, whose female writers and artists carried the season: Sabrina Carpenter's Espresso and Please, Please Please, Billie Eilish's Birds of a Feather and Lunch, Taylor Swift's Fortnite and I Can Do It With a Broken Heart, SZA's Saturn, Ariana Grande's We Can't Be Friends, and That Boy Is Mine, Ice Spice's Fat Butt, Lorde's feature on Charlie XCX's Girl, So Confusing remix, Megan Thee Stallion's Mamushi. And critical favorites like Clairo, Gracie Abrams and even the most female-adjacent writer-producer in the game, Jack Antonoff. Along with hits from Kendrick Lamar, Eminem, Fade and writers on Post Malone's I Had Some Help, Shabuzzi's A Bar Song, and Hozier's Too Sweet, it's helped UMPG to top the second quarter of 2024 in Billboard's Publishers Quarterly. I do think we've had a female-driven summer, there's a lot going on societally, says UMPG Executive VP and co-head of U.S. A&R Jennifer Nopeful, pronounced Nopeful, rhyming with hopeful, who joined the company in 2022 after working with UMPG Chairman CEO Jody Gerson for nearly half of her 13 years at Sony, and brought Antonoff with her. Nobody really knows what's going on in society and the world, but also there's this beautiful freedom in the business right now that's allowing people to just be who they want to be, and that empowerment is spreading. I think that might be one reason why we're seeing so many female artists explode at the same time. It's like the door is open to new ideas, new artists, to new stars. Who's going to do it? The above artists are all powerful, but in different ways. Like Billie's on her third album, she's discovering and exploring who she is, and she's airing it publicly. People are deeply interested and invested in that. Some of that spirit also found an embodiment in Charlie XCX's Lorde featuring remix of Girl, So Confusing, where they basically hashed out some shared misperceptions and misconceptions in real time, which is nothing new on social media and reality TV, but relatively uncommon on a remix. I signed Lorde earlier this year and that was our first release with her, which is obviously incredibly exciting, says Nopeful, who has also signed or works closely with Gracie Abrams, Clairo, Lucy Dacus, Maggie Rogers, Danny L. Harrell, Dan Wilson and others. That remix sort of kicked off Brat's summer in earnest. It might have been the first time you saw two women airing their concerns and questions and doubts together in a song. I think it was quite revolutionary and a very real exploration of what was going on in their minds, and how they interpreted a situation. As a woman, I've been in that position with my friends over the years, and I think women do have a wonderful ability to have those conversations, sharing the thoughts instead of holding them in, like, I have your side of story, I'm going to tell you my side, let's clear the air and set the record straight, and it's kind of happening for all of us to see. I think that's why people really related to it, especially, maybe, from Ella, because we hadn't necessarily seen her be vulnerable like that. Hopefully we'll see more of that, like, let's work it out on the remix. An equally empowered but very different perspective comes from Sabrina Carpenter, whose album is filled with the kind of sassy, sexy and strong perspectives from her Espresso and Please 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 that are also at times vulnerable and insecure. Her Short and Sweet album is a definitive coming-of-age statement for the 25-year-old former Disney star. We signed her around a year ago, but she and I have known each other since I first started this job a decade ago. David Gray, also UMPG Executive VP and co-head of U.S. A&R, who is Carpenter's A&R rep at the company, and also signed Julia Michaels, Shawn Mendes, Nick and Joe Jonas, Demi Lovato and Steven Sanchez, and was himself signed to UMPG as an artist with the 1990s band Idle Wilds. I went to see some people at Disney and they played me some of her stuff. There's this young artist, she's just starting to get some shows, and I thought, wow, I think there's a lot more there than maybe you guys do. And so we put her with a bunch of our writers, in her really early days, because we thought she had so much potential and so much talent there. This was almost 10 years ago. She was always brilliant, but she's gotten better and better, and it's all come through on her new album, Short and Sweet, which topped the Billboard Albums chart this week. Her singing voice and her writing voice, whether it's sad or humorous. She's really, really smart, and I think that sense of humor kind of flows through her intelligence. Of course, The person behind a lot of recent female-powered hits is a man, Jack Antonoff, who essentially followed Nopeful from Sony to UMPG.